Coming up on News Center 16 at 5.
Wild weather is on its way. A major snowstorm is sweeping across the country, including Michiana. How road crews are preparing, plus how much we're expected to get. The Elkhart community comes together tonight to remember Sarah Crane, what people are doing to honor the teenager who inspired everyone to be Sarah Strong. And merger in the making? It's one of the possibilities to fix huge money woes in the Mishawaka schools. A look at how likely it is and who the possible partners are.
From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is News Center 16 at 5.
Good evening, I'm Maureen McFadden. Terry has the night off. We'll get to the winter storm barreling toward us in a few minutes, but first, we begin with breaking news in the last hour, an arrest in the Mishawaka murder of Teresa Burns almost 26 years ago. The man arrested for the January 1988 death is 43-year-old Philip Jeans. He's in the St. Joseph County Jail on felony murder charges tonight. Barbara Harrington is at the St. Joe County Metro Homicide Headquarters in South Bend with the cold case arrest details. And Barbara, the Burns murder is one a lot of us remember.
Well, it certainly is, Mo. It's one that really stuck with the community through the years. Craig Whitefield, he's the officer who was originally assigned to this case out of Mishawaka, and he says that it really shook the community up because back in 1988, there was hardly any crime on the east side of Mishawaka. Now, this happened in January of 1988. Teresa Burns, she left Mishawaka High School to go home and change her clothes. She was supposed to come back, but she never did. Later that night, her family found her with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. When police arrived to the scene, near her body they found the ejector rod of a .22 caliber gun on the floor. No gun, but the ejector rod. Now, after that, police conducted hundreds of interviews trying to follow up on tips, find any leads, find the person responsible. At some point after the murder, Philip Jeans' parents, they went to the Mishawaka Police Department and they turned in a gun, a .22 caliber gun that they said they found in Philip's bed. They didn't want him to have it because they thought only bad things could come from it. Police noticed that gun had the ejector rod missing. Well, two experts tested it and they determined that it was in fact the gun that was used to kill Teresa Burns. And also at some point, multiple occasions after the murder, Philip talked about Teresa Burns and the gun used in the murder to his friends. At one point, he even threatened two people saying that he would kill them like he killed Teresa Burns. So police say a bittersweet day for them to be able to arrest him. He was just walking along Lincoln Way in Mishawaka. To finally put him behind bars. Unfortunately, both of Teresa's parents are dead. They had several health problems after this murder, and they're not around to see it.
Yeah, that is so sad, Barbara. So why were police finally able to make an arrest now?
You know, Mo, they couldn't give us a lot of details on the timeline at this point in terms of when that gun was tested, when Philip made these statements about the murder or the gun, but they said that this all came together recently and they had enough to go ahead and charge him and make the arrest today.
Okay, Barbara, I know this all just happened in the last hour, but do we know, was he also a student? Was that brought up?
We have not confirmed whether or not he was a student, but he said that he did know Teresa. She was a friend of one of his girlfriends, apparently.
All right. Barbara Harrington reporting live. Thank you very much. And we're following more breaking news, this out of Colorado, where there's been another school shooting. 2 victims were shot, and the shooter is dead after a student went to Arapahoe High School in Centennial to confront a teacher. The Arapahoe County Sheriff says the gunman shot and killed himself. One of the victims is a minor who was shot and is in serious condition. The other victim has less serious injuries, as was found during an evacuation of the school. The school is about 8 miles east of Columbine High School in Littleton, where 2 teenage shooters killed 12 classmates and a teacher before killing themselves in 1999. A terror plot by an American against Americans was thwarted today at a Wichita, Kansas airport. Authorities say a Kansas man who worked at the airport as an aviation technician planned to detonate a car bomb at the airport. U.S. Attorney Barry Grissom said 58-year-old Terry Lowen had been under investigation since last summer and was arrested this morning at Mid-Continent Regional. He said Lowen was driving a car that he believed was full of explosives into a terminal at the airport. The explosives were inert and no one was ever in any danger. The FBI says Lowen intended to die himself. Now in custody, he faces charges of attempting to use a weapon of mass destruction, attempting to damage a property with explosives, and providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization. Well, a pretty mild Friday the 13th for Michiana, but things could be changing soon, right, Mike?
Thanks, Maureen. Yeah, it's sad to say it's milder when it's still 6 degrees below normal, but you're right. Compared to what we were seeing, it felt a lot better today. But don't let your guard down. Winter weather is headed our way tonight and tomorrow. Winter weather advisory for southwest Michigan and the northern tier of Indiana. And you can see winter storm warnings in effect for Stark, Marshall, Kosciuszko, Pulaski, and Fulton counties. We'll let you know how much snow we're expecting coming up. In the meantime, if you're traveling early this evening, there's no issues whatsoever. But you can see the snow is coming in from the southwest, and that will be arriving our way. Obviously, I'm thinking around, because you're an hour behind us, about 7 p.m. in our southwestern counties, and then probably around midnight as you get into our northeastern counties. So keep that in mind. It'll be mid to late evening before we start to see the snow, but then it snows right through the rest of the night and through much of the day tomorrow. We'll have details on how much and your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Well, as he just said, we're in store for some snow tonight. That means snowplows will be at work keeping the roads clear. Stephanie Stang joins us live from South Bend with more on what crews have planned. So, Stephanie, could be a long night ahead for snowplow drivers if they work from Friday night to Saturday night as the snow falls.
It sure could be, and they are prepared for that. We're talking from city street departments, county highway departments, and of course the state transportation department. They are prepared for this, and they'll need to be. They could be working for 24 hours straight. At NDOT, it's the calm before the storm. Crews have been preparing for this snow for the past 2 days. Schedules have been adjusted so a full staff can be ready. The equipment is ready, and the streets have been prepared with a salt mixture. NDOT, like many other street or highway departments, has their own weather system they use to prepare for storms. They use a specialized statewide forecast, have a partnership set up with Purdue, and keep an eye on what local forecasters are saying. When the crews are out, dispatchers keep an eye on those forecasts and listen to what plow drivers are reporting to direct crews in the area that need the most clearing.
Our crews are on 12-hour shifts, and our crews stay on the road 24 hours a day until the roads are all clear. So certain areas may be all clear in one spot, so our crews will shift to the areas that are hardest hit. But no matter what, we stay on the roads 24 hours a day until all the roads are clear.
Keep in mind, NDOT is responsible for all state roads. So we're talking State Road 2, 4, and 6. And the bypass, or US 31. They are not responsible, though, for the toll road. That is now cleared off by a private company. Mo?
Okay, Steph, you mentioned the bypass, and we all listened to these on the scanners. I know the last time we had snow, parts of the bypass had to be closed because so many cars were sliding off. What's the plan to keep it clear this time around?
Well, typically, for years now, the bypass has been a scary stretch of road when we get a lot of snow, just because of the wind in certain areas of it. But NDOT usually puts twice as many crews as they can on that area. So they do what they can, but you need to be careful when you are on the bypass and there's a lot of snow. All
right, Stephanie Stang live from South Bend. Thanks a lot. A large Elkhart apartment building was evacuated this afternoon after one of the rooms caught fire. It happened around 12:15 at the Waterfall High Rise in the 300 block of Waterfall Drive. Firefighters say the blaze started in a room on the 10th floor and appears to be accidental. The resident suffered from smoke inhalation but refused treatment. Luckily, no one else was injured.
It was coming down from the 9th and 10th, said they smell smoke on their floor.
It made me nervous for whoever apartment this happened in, because I've been here 10.5 years and I got a lot of friends there that's like family, and I sure don't want to see anybody hurt.
The fire remains under investigation. While the blaze didn't spread to other rooms, both the 9th and 10th floors have smoke and water damage. Tonight, the community made Sarah Strong by a teenage girl with cancer is paying its respects to Sarah Crane and her family. News Center 16's Elkhart reporter Tricia Hart joins us live from the visitation in Elkhart. And Trish, Sarah Strong has really brought together Elkhart and the surrounding areas. I have to imagine a lot of people are attending tonight's service.
You know, there really have been a lot of people coming in. I've seen teenagers in their varsity jackets coming in after school, families, you name it. The community is definitely coming out and showing their support since the visitation started at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, upwards of 100 floral arrangements were delivered to the funeral home as of this morning, and they were expecting even more than that. Governor Pence himself and his wife even sent flowers to show their support to the family. It's all a tangible example of the outpouring of love and prayers we've seen since the 15-year-old Sarah Crane passed away December 7th. Now, social media and the funeral home's website are filled with thoughts of well-wishing and condolences, calling Sarah an angel on earth and a sign of strength and faith. We spoke with Sarah's friends earlier this week who, like thousands of others, know just how big a legacy she left behind.
It was really heartbreaking. I mean, I knew she had gone to a better place, but at the same time, we lost a really great person in our lives. So
a unique thing that we're doing is the particular casket that Sarah's resting in is one that can be written on, and family and friends are going to write messages on the casket, virtually all over the casket in permanent marker, and that'll stay with Sarah from now on.
And when I talked to the funeral director earlier today, he says they were anticipating a very large crowd of hundreds and possibly thousands. So inside the funeral home, they have a queue of pews and chairs so people can go inside and sit and wait until they can go and actually pay their respects to Sarah's family, sign that casket, and really just say their final goodbye. Mo?
Okay, and tomorrow's funeral service is open to the public as well. They're probably expecting a lot of people there.
You know they are. Tomorrow's funeral services start at 10 a.m. at California Road Missionary Church. They have seating for about 500 people in both the sanctuary and a nearby gymnasium where they'll be simulcasting the service. Now, it's mostly just recommended that family and close friends come for that 500 seats. You can watch it on YouTube or through the Elkhart Truth website if you wish to take part in that way too. So it's really just another way this community can all participate. You can go in, you can watch the prayer service, the mass, and just say goodbye one more time tomorrow before the actual funeral.
All right, Tricia Hart reporting live. Thank you. Well, the financial future looks bleak for Mishawaka schools after a $28 million referendum failed last month. That money would have covered major improvements to keep schools safe and functioning. Now the school board faces the tough decision of whether to cut spending or consolidate with another district. During his presentation last night, Superintendent Terry Barker said consolidation seems like a slim possibility. Part of the reason for that, the other school districts would have to be interested in merging in order for the idea to move forward. Penn Harris Madison Schools said in a statement the administration would not recommend a move toward consolidation with School City of Mishawaka or any other district at this time because we do not feel that it is in the best interest of our students and families. A spokesperson for South Bend Schools told NewsCenter 16 they haven't ruled the idea out, but would need much more information in order to make a decision. Barker says he thinks School City should focus instead on living within their budget, which would mean dramatic cuts to programs, athletics, and staffing.
If we get to a point where we do not have enough athletes to fill out a team, rather than scramble to find players, we just simply forfeit the season, forfeit the costs, and that saves the corporation a little bit of money.
Of course, academics do come first. However, I will scream athletics all day long. I think it helps with self-esteem, with obesity, with grades.
Another result of this referendum failing, Mishawaka School City doesn't have the money it desperately needs to make major repairs to buildings. So Barker says one of the options they'll consider is closing Hums Elementary because of structural safety issues. But these are just ideas at this point. The administration will calculate how much savings could come from some of these ideas and bring that information back to the board in February. We're at the height of the holiday shopping season, but keep in mind you're not the only one looking to snatch a bargain. Kate Chappell learned some helpful reminders to avoid thieves at the busiest time for crime during the year.
It can happen so easily and you wouldn't even know it.
Now is when shoppers, specifically women, should be on the lookout for thieves.
This time of year, there's always going to be an increase in property crimes especially.
So how can you protect yourself?
First of all, before you even leave home, write down your credit card numbers and keep them in a safe place at home. In the event your wallet does get stolen, then it's going to be easier for you to repair yourself before you're too much at risk of identity theft.
Lieutenant Kilgore says women are often targets.
And that's one of the main reasons why.
thanks to their baggage. Plus, the way we carry ourselves can scream target.
Okay, so now as you're walking, you've got your purse open and I can almost look inside and see your wallet. My preference would be to sling that strap over your shoulder, because if somebody were to come by, which can happen so very quickly, and snatch that purse off your shoulder, it's going to be more resistant if you have it over your shoulder. Do you have a cell phone in your pocket? And your pocket's unzipped. So take advantage of the opportunity to zip up your pocket. If you've got an interior pocket in your jacket, there you go. You stick your driver's license and your credit card, any minimal amount of cash you needed to carry with you in an interior pocket.
Another major issue? Kids, cell phone, iPod. They're all distractions.
Anytime your eyes are not on the prize here and your valuables, we're vulnerable.
Finally, keep in mind the mischief can be even worse outside the store.
Try to be mindful of your surroundings. Try not to be distracted by talking on a cell phone or listening to music. Always being aware.
Kate Chappell, News Center 16.
Here are some other things Lieutenant Kilgore recommends while shopping. If you're out after dark, park near a light and near the entrance whenever possible. Always keep your car doors locked. Lock up your valuables like your GPS and your garage door opener in the glove compartment. If you have a van or SUV, think about covering your purchases with a blanket. And remember the easily accessible safety tools you have at your fingertips. Your keys can be used as a weapon, and the panic button can help alert others of your danger. And we have all that advice on our website. Just click on this story. People are dreaming of all the possibilities today as the Mega Millions jackpot hits $425 million. Folks around the area are hurrying to buy tickets for the drawing that's being held tonight. Many customers are buying them by the dozen at Veldman 66 in Elkhart. In one case, a woman bought 90 of them. The cash option for the winner would be a whopping $228 million. Remember, we'll have the winning numbers tonight on News Center 16 at 11. And breaking news regarding Notre Dame football tonight. Moments ago, the university announced that Everett Golson has been readmitted to the university. Golson was suspended for the entire fall semester after admitting cheating on a test back in May. His removal from the university was first reported by News Center 16. Without Golson, Notre Dame went 8-4 this season. Golson will not be able to play in the upcoming Pinstripe Bowl. He will resume classes in January. Golson led Notre Dame to the BCS National Championship game last year as the team's starting quarterback.
Tracking inconvenient weather where you live. Storm Team 16 is your weather authority.
Winter weather advisory for tonight and tomorrow for the northern tier of counties in Indiana and all of southwestern Michigan. Winter storm warning. You folks should get a little more snow in our southern areas. You can see for most of those counties. Now, exactly how much snow is still a little bit questionable. We'll show you that coming up, what we're thinking. But also remember, if you're traveling this evening, get out and do it as quickly as possible, because it looks like 7 o'clock or so, because you're now an hour behind in our southwestern counties, and probably 11 or 12 by the time it gets toward LaGrange County. So somewhere in the 10 p.m. time range is what I'm thinking for the metro area as far as the beginning of the snow. Not snowing right now in Michigan City. That's a live picture from the Blue Chip Casino where it's 28 degrees. And another sky view shot. We'll go to Mishawaka right now from the St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. It's also 28. Dry conditions if you're going to be out Christmas shopping at least early this evening. Winds are east to southeasterly at 8 miles per hour. Temperatures at this hour, you can see upper 20s to around 30, although it's 35 in Francisville. That's going to fall as the snow comes in. It's going to be all snow. You don't have to worry about that. Nothing going on right now, though, on 16 Doppler max. But the wider view will show the leading edge of that snow that's coming our way. And again, it's mixing with rain, but that's where it's warmer. By the time it gets to us, it will definitely be all snow. Here's what the future looks like then with 16 Future Track. As we head through the evening hours, you'll notice the snow will start to cross the state line after 7 o'clock, and it looks like by midnight it'll be in most of Michiana. Maybe the far northern sections, not quite yet. And then it snows the rest of the night, continues to snow tomorrow morning and into the midday hours before tending to taper off during the afternoon hours. Probably just some scattered snow showers in tomorrow night. Secondary front will bring in northwesterly winds by Saturday night and Sunday, and that will keep those chances for lake effect snow showers. Doesn't look like a big deal of accumulation as far as lake effect goes with this system, though. And then another front will be coming our way as we head in early next week, so another slight chance for a little bit of snow shower activity on Monday. Here's my Storm Team 16 forecast for all of Michiana for tonight. Snow arriving during the mid to late evening, continuing overnight. Low temperature down to 23 degrees. 7-day planning forecast showing breakfast time and lunchtime snow. Scattered snow showers at dinner time. But I do want to highlight this yellow day here because we're looking for mainly 4 to 6 inches of snow. But if you live in our far southern areas, 6 to 8 is likely. 2 to 4 inches to the north and most of southwestern Michigan. I'll be showing you a map coming up at 6 o'clock to highlight exactly where those areas are. Here's Sunday then. Lake effect snow showers will be scattered. This should not be a big deal, but we'll still call it a yellow day. Definitely turns colder. High temperature of 21. On Monday then, we're looking for colder conditions. Some sunshine at times with a chance of a scattered snow shower or so. I'll still call it a green day though, high of 23. And then look at this. We talked about a little bit of a warm up later next week, but we're now going 34 on Thursday, 38 on Friday with rain and snow turning back to snow. That Siberian air still expected to come our way starting next weekend, at least part of it coming in next weekend. So don't expect that 38 degrees to keep going like that. It's going to drop right back down.
Okay, Mike, thanks a lot. Well, coming up, you'll meet a father who suffered a stroke at a young age who's now working hard to be able to play with his kids again. His inspiring story of regaining his strength and how he's doing it next in today's Medical Moment.
The latest health news for you and your family. This is Maureen's Medical Moment.
Coming back from a stroke, a young dad's moving journey and how he's making it happen in today's Medical Moment. Strokes kill almost 130,000 Americans each year and are a leading cause of serious long-term disability. Imagine you're a young father, busy with kids, work, school, and sports. Suddenly you have a stroke and it all comes to a screeching halt. Now one young dad is kick-starting his recovery. Each new day is precious for Brad and Sarah Ferenkamp and their little boys. Brad was a healthy, active father.
And swing. Good job.
When suddenly at age 40, he suffered a stroke.
I was unable to see, unable to swallow, unable to walk.
After a month in the hospital, Brad got the okay to start rehab, and he was determined to walk again. Neurological physical therapist Paige Thomas says that for his age and type of stroke, early mobility is critical to start retraining your brain in order to kickstart recovery.
The brain can be molded, and so even if you have damage to certain parts of your brain, you can essentially rewire it to assist and help itself.
Thomas says that starting early can help minimize any secondary complications, and it helps patients avoid developing compensation patterns.
The quicker that someone can start beginning therapy and getting up, moving around, even in the hospital, is the key.
In just 6 months, Brad's hard work led to a strong recovery and new joy in life.
Sounds funny, but sometimes it's a matter of just recognizing that it's a beautiful day outside, and that's what you should enjoy. Hey, all right.
Doctors say even years after a stroke, people can continue to regain motor function. Brad continues a rigorous therapy schedule at home to help his body and brain relearn what they once did so easily. Brad says the more he moves, the more independent he feels. And to read the research summary for today's story, you can go to WNDU.com and click on the Medical Moment. One of the last things that would ever cross your mind about Southern California is ice and snow, but that didn't stop one family there from building an igloo. Theirs is made from milk jugs, 1,700 milk jugs to be exact. The Corona, California family that built the igloo says they asked friends and family members to drink milk and save the empty jugs for them. And the family isn't done yet. They still need to build an archway on the front, which they expect will take another 150 empty bottles. News Center 16 at 5:30 is next. Here's a preview.